Greetings, friends, and welcome back to Mike Allen from Chicagoland. Standing along the busy section of Route 66 here in Joliet, Illinois. About to embark on a journey to Springfield, taking Route 66 all the way there. So come and join me and let's get started. So in present day, this is Illinois Route 53, but this is the stretch of the old Mother Road that goes through the northern part of Joliet. Right next to this Joliet Kicks on 66 ice cream shop with the Blues Brothers up on top there. And this also butts up against Route 66 Park, right here. Usually these signs at these parks and roadside stops are in much better shape than this. This sign appears to be in the best of shape. Some images of the road and its experience through town here. And Route 66 Park also has one of these, what appears to be an old Shell gas pump. And I saw sign over here, it said it contains lead. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm heading down to the Illinois state capital of Springfield, Illinois, and I'm going to take Route 66 all the way there and check out some places that I have not profiled yet on this channel. I may stop at a few other places that I've been to before, but mostly this video is going to be places that I have not been to yet. Rialto Theater here in downtown Joliet. The south end of Joliet now, and in front of this gas station and Italian beef joint is the Bluesmobile. As you can see, this includes the microphone. I've stopped here before to profile this, but wanted to do it again because I was watching Adam the Woo a few weeks ago, and he was visiting the gentleman in Las Vegas who put this together. So just wanted to come and check it out again, and I'll put a link down in the description below to Adam's video. Check it out after you finish this one. It's even got Elwood's quote from the movie when he was explaining to his brother why he picked up the car in the first place. In the town of Wilmington now, and in front of the Launching Pad restaurant, sits the Gemini Giant statue, which I do believe is a repurposed muffler man. Looks to be holding a rocket and has an astronaut helmet on him. This is named after NASA's old Gemini program from the 1960s. Now, in the research I've done, the Launching Pad used to be an ice cream stand, and it was renamed the Launching Pad when the owners at the time had purchased the statue and erected it right next to the shop here. Unfortunately, the restaurant's not open, but they did acquire new owners in 2017 who said they were going to reopen the place and bring it back up to what it was when it was in its heyday back in the 60s, but unfortunately it is not open right now. Got this nice Route 66 sign right along the building here. And then also, I want to just go check out this garage real quick. Picture of the Gemini Giant right next to the roadway sign. And the town of Wilmington, Illinois is also known to have a pretty good high school football team. I believe they won the state championship. It was either last year or the year before. In front of the Polka Dot Drive-In here in Braidwood, Illinois, they got statues of famous celebrities here. You got Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe in her famous pose, James Dean, and one animated character here in Betty Boop. And Betty Boop, I know she's been around a long time, but first time I remember seeing her was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when I was 8 years old. One Jake and Elwood Blues. The Polka Dot Inn also has this statue of Superman here in front of the phone booth. Not quite as big as the Superman statue I saw in Metropolis, Illinois, down at the bottom of the state, but still an imposing figure nonetheless. And they also have a much bigger statue of Elvis Presley right along the road here. Town of Gardner, Illinois now, and this is a older portion of the road that used to go through town until several years later, mainly in the 50s and 60s, when the town started to get bypassed, and then that eventually led way to the interstate system. But we're going to check out what Gardner has to offer in the way of Route 66 memorabilia. This here's the shop on Route 66 here in Gardner, Illinois. It's currently closed for the day, unfortunately, but at least wanted to get it on camera. It's got quite a bit of Coca-Cola signage, that's for sure. Right next to this American Legion post dedicated to the men and women who served in the armed forces is this building right here. It's the 2-cell jail. Let's go check it out. Well, the sign says that it was built in 1906 here in Gardner, Illinois. Only see a picture of Barney Fife running things here. Don't see the actual sheriff, or sheriff deputy, I should say. The place has an old furnace as well as looks to be an old time radio as well. I'll sign the ledger before I leave. In front of the 2-cell jail here, it says press button for message.
Welcome to Gardner, Illinois. We're happy that you've taken the time to visit and explore these unique and one-of-a-kind pieces of Route 66 folklore. You're now at the historic 1906 2-cell jail. Legend has it that this jail never held any dangerous desperados. It was used mainly to control hobos and vagrants, especially during the 1930s Depression era. We hear that hobos would hop off the trains and wander around town seeking out food and work. This was acceptable in those days, but folks wanted them safely locked up at night. Be sure to stroll over to explore our other fascinating historic structure. This original 1800s horse-drawn streetcar was used as a diner on Route 66 from 1932 to 1939. This piece of Gardner history has been moved to this location so that you can experience what it was like to travel and eat in the early days of Route 66.
And here's the Riviera restaurant that the guy on the intercom was just talking about. That served diners on Route 66 back in the 1930s. Let's see if we can get a look inside here. Place looks like something out of that movie Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks. Over on this side, it's got a jukebox radio sitting here on the table. According to the information sign here, it looks like the original Riviera burned down in 2010. And this replica was built in its place to keep the memory of the restaurant alive. And before leaving Gardner, I just had to get a shot of Big Boy here right next to this old-fashioned Pepsi can dispenser. 30 cents. I remember these when I was a kid. Got all the old Pepsi and Bart's Root Beer and Mountain Dew. In the town of Dwight now, we're going to stop for dinner at the old Route 66 family restaurant, which was established in 2001. Glad to see a business that's only about 20 years old be able to open and thrive here on Route 66. A lot of tourists are keeping the memory of this place alive, and glad to see a business was able to pop up right over here. Let's head inside. And immediately we're greeted by Jake and Elwood again. Inside the restaurant, they have all these pictures right next to the booth. Chicago to Santa Monica. Would love to do that someday. Got another picture here. High-speed motor oil, Route 66. And the restaurant also has a mural of Route 66 right along the top of the wall here. Starting with the homemade chicken soup for my appetizer. Ended up going with the Italian beef rolls and a side of fries. Let's dig in. Looks like it's got the hot and sweet peppers inside of it as well, just like a traditional Italian beef. And those beef rolls are a member of the Clean Plate Club. The mural has a few places we've been to already on this trip. The Gemini Giant, the 2-cell jail. There's the Texaco station here in Dwight that I profiled in a previous video. And as you leave, old-fashioned gas pumps. Exiting the town of Dwight here on an older portion of Route 66, heading south, continuing that journey. I don't know if you can see this walkway along the right side of the road here, but that used to be part of Route 66 back when this section of the road was still a divided highway. Many sections have been abandoned, but some sections have been turned into pedestrian walkways like that there. But as you can see right here, it's been abandoned. It's nothing but concrete with nature trying to retake it. Had to take a slight detour on Interstate 55, make up some time here while the sun is going down. I'd like to go to the last couple places while it's still relatively daylight, so stay tuned. Making one last stop in the quiet, sleepy town of Atlanta, Illinois, to see this here. Another repurposed muffler man, this time a Paul Bunyan statue with a hot dog. I've been here before in a previous video and profiled this spot, but just love it so much. This is one of my favorite Route 66 stops along the way here that just had to come check it out again. Quite a few birds chirping in the background here, so I'll try and talk over them. But yeah, this statue here was originally in front of a hot dog restaurant in Cicero. And when that restaurant closed down, it made its way downstate here to the middle of the state in Atlanta. Here's some other pictures of the Bunyan statue in front of the restaurant. And here it is in its current location in front of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. So happy the Route 66 Association purchased this statue. Otherwise, it probably would have been thrown in the garbage when that restaurant closed down. Keeping its memory alive here. What better place to do that than right here on old Route 66. Mural along the side of the building, which highlights the states that the road goes through, starting in Illinois and ending in California. The reason I love this town so much is that it's just so quiet and peaceful, especially at night around dusk here when the sun is just about set. I can walk up and down these small town roads all day and all night if I could. Inside Route 66 Park now, and these placards that you see all along the road here talks about how Atlanta boomed when Route 66 was built in the 20s, but when the town was bypassed in 1947, the town slowed down in growth, but I'm glad it still remains to this day because I do like coming here. have arrived at the state capital of Illinois, Springfield, the land of Lincoln. And in front of the statue of old Honest Abe himself, that's where I'm going to end the video for this evening. So thank you. I really appreciate you coming with me on this journey from Joliet to Springfield, checking out the Route 66 stops along the way and ending here in front of the state capitol building and statue of Honest Abe. So anyways, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. There's other ways you can help me out in growing the channel. I'll put links down in the description below. Anyways, this is Mike Allen from Chicagoland signing off from Springfield, Illinois. I'll be back next week with another video, but until then, don't you go changing.